What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. On today's episode, we're going to go over Matt Grody saying that he expects the Bears to move on from Sam Mustafer and have Lucas Patrick replace him. We'll also talk about where the Bears are currently slated to draft if the NFL draft started now and what that could mean to how they prepare for the rest of the season. We'll also talk about Justin Fields and a surprising statistic in the way that he's sacked as well. And then we'll go over the last 11 games left on the Bears schedule. We'll get into all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All right. So, Matt Grody was on the Bear Down podcast, and he said this direct quote: I don't think that they want to necessarily be in the predicament that Sam Mustafer has to continue to start at center. I think that they had envisioned that by now Lucas Patrick would be playing that part of center, and you would hope you would have Cody Whitehair and Tevin Jenkins and Mustafer will take a seat in that scenario. I think that coming, unless they pull off a fast one, I think Mustafer can slide over to the guard spot. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. Now, at this point, I'm over Sam Mustafer. I'm over him as center. I'm over him. Like, just the fact that they're still thinking about somehow moving Tevin Jenkins out of the lineup to keep Sam Mustafer in there. Is this not based on production? What are they basing this off? What are they seeing that we're not seeing? I don't like this predicament with the offensive line. And we'll talk more about the offensive line here in a minute. But I don't like what I'm hearing from this. I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like the results of it. I don't like any of it. When it comes to Sam Mustafer, maybe it's just me. Maybe I need to calm down. I'm over Sam Mustafer. I'm over everything that he has or does not have to offer. I'm over seeing him out there. I'm over giving him a chance. Sam Mustafer needs to get up out of that starting lineup, in my opinion, by any means necessary. You get him up out of there. The fact that there's still talk of moving him from center, which needs to happen, but still like moving people like a Tevin Jenkins who's been productive out to the guard position. Yes, I understand Sam Mustafer will probably be more productive at guard than he is snapping the ball at center. But when you are that inept, how do you convince yourself to keep somebody in a starting lineup that has been that detrimental to your team up until that point? Up until that point, like, let me know down below. Do you guys think I'm tripping on that? Do you think that Sam Mustafer, even when Lucas Patrick does take over the starting center position, should Sam Mustafer keep a starting position on this offensive line? Let me know if you think I'm being unfair down below. But with that being said, got interesting stat came out. So Seth Walder tweeted out an interesting statistic when it comes to sacks and times that teams hold the ball and things like that. And he said in this that Justin Fields' high sack rate is mostly on him. And then looking at these statistics, so when it comes down to it, the Chicago Bears, while they have allowed the highest pressure percentage and sack percentage in the NFL, they actually have the second best pass block win rate, sustaining blocks for 2.5 seconds, 68% of the time, whereas Justin Fields has the longest throw average in the NFL at 3 seconds. So the way that they're painting this and trying to use this stat is to basically say that a lot of Justin Fields' issues when it comes to him being sacked as often as he has comes down to him holding on to the ball too long. That's what they're trying to say. That in all the sacks that Justin Fields has had, only 5 have come under the median time. So under the time that most quarterbacks have to set up. So basically saying Justin Fields is just holding on to the ball too long. Now, I did see a lot of that at the beginning of the season. I think he's been more quick to make decisions at this point in time, but I would be lying if I did say that Justin Fields doesn't hold on to the ball in some situations a little bit long. So finding out that this statistic that the Chicago Bears offensive line is actually holding their blocks in a higher rate and better than average in some cases, and that it's Justin Fields higher than average throw rate that is definitely affecting that. It made me think, right? And again, with all statistics, as I say with this in all sports, you can really make them say anything. But when you have hard numbers like this, it definitely makes me think and consider like, all right, what's going on here? Like, yeah, Justin Fields is being sacked way too much. And we know that needs to get down. We know that we need to get him to have him to be allowed time to be the quarterback that we all think that he can be. But if that, along that, getting the ball off quicker, making quicker decisions, maybe not running and doing the thing where he tries to loop-de-loop, as I call it, and then still pass the ball. At this point, I just want Justin Fields to be more of a decisive decision maker out there on the field. And if that happens, we'll see if these other things start kind of evening out. But like I said, it was just an interesting stat that I saw that was tweeted out. I wanted to bring that to you guys to see how you guys felt about it overall. But let's talk about right now where the Bears would be drafting if the NFL draft was today. So the current order right now will be the Carolina Panthers, Raiders, Detroit Lions, Texans, Eagles, Texans again, Seahawks, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cardinals, Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the Chicago Bears picking at number 11th right now if everything was to end. Now, with that being said, we know that this team has a lot of things they need to solve. Some are going to do with cap space, bringing in veterans. Some positions they're going to try to solve with getting the next great thing in the draft. And hopefully Poles continues to draft well. But the thing is that if the Bears were to stay around this draft position, it kind of would go in line with what I thought the season was to be. There's still a lot of football left to be played. We're not even near the halfway mark of the NFL season so far. So considering we still have 11 games left to play, draft position doesn't matter too much right now. But, let's look at the Bears' remaining schedule, and let's look at what we have pegged in as wins and losses. We know we got the Patriots coming up, in which I think we're 7-point underdogs in that. Predicted that right now at a loss. That puts the Bears at 2-5. Against the Dallas Cowboys, listen, Dallas is playing. They have a great defense, which just considering how the Bears' offensive line has struggled, how Justin Fields, has issues there, I'm still picking that as a loss for the Chicago Bears. That puts the Bears at 2-6. The Miami Dolphins. Now, this is going to be an interesting matchup of young talent, young quarterbacks as well. I think the Bears defense stands up. I think they're able to do enough in this game. I think our running game is going to have success in that as well. I'm predicting this to be a win for the Chicago Bears. That will put them at 3-6. Against the Detroit Lions, you already know, not even getting into it, definitely picking them to beat the Detroit Lions. That puts them at 4-6. Against the Atlanta Falcons, picking that as a win as well. That puts them at 5-6. But then you get against the Jets. That can go either way. I think the Bears can beat the Jets. We'll see. Does that put the Bears at 6-6, gets them back to 500? We'll see with that. The Green Bay Packers in this one, I'm not predicting the Bears to be. As much as I want to see them beat the Green Bay Packers, I'm not predicting that. As of right now, I don't think this team has showed a competency to be able to do that. I think they're gonna lose in that game as well. Against the Philadelphia Eagles, that's probably going to be a loss, unfortunately, for the Bears as well. Another win against the Detroit Lions. The Buffalo Bills in that, probably going to lose against the Bills as well in that as well. So right now, I look at the Bears season as what I have right now. I have them going about 6-11 or 7 wins, maybe at most 7-10 right now is how I think it's going to shake out for the Bears. Now, how does that affect their draft order? How does that affect how they go in draft? And I want to ask you this. Depending on where the Bears draft, do you want to see them go after wide receiver first? Do you think they need to go over linebacker to kind of whatever's going on with Roquan Smith? What position do you want to see the Chicago Bears draft first in the upcoming draft? Let me know that down below. But that is it for us for today on the daily episode. Be on the lookout. We'll have a live stream tomorrow as we always do, but that is it. Make sure you're following the show at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text and or voicemail, the number to do so is 773-242-9336. We're the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related because of you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.